just have some fun. Already.
Good.
For folks out there who might not know who you are, share a little bit about yourself, Miss Clare Cunningham.
Yes, hi. So my name is Clare Cunningham. I'm originally from Ireland, and I've been living in America for a little over 6 years. I kind of always was in the music industry. I started writing poetry as a young child. All my further education was in music. And then I took up playing keyboard to start. Then it went to piano, then self-taught myself guitar at around 16. And I was always writing poetry as a child. And yeah, just kind of wanted to further my career in music. So decided to get a degree in it and started my first professional band when I moved to the UK, Smoking Aces. And then through that band, I got headhunted on YouTube by an all-female Swedish heavy classic rock band out in Sweden, obviously. And yeah, my career kind of excelled from there. Um, and then I kind of just made my way over to America then as a solo artist. It's my story that is like really quick snapshot of my entire. It's way too long to go into, to be honest.
3 episodes later, and we'll get the whole last story.
Like, yeah, literally, like that's why I always tell people, like, honestly, if you really want to know the full like story, like I have a very long bio on my website as well that kind of like details a little more, but yeah, it's hard to just say in a sentence or two.
Did you have someone encourage you or inspire you really to be in the along your music career, your music journey, or just kind of the love of music to your heart, maybe to your soul, perhaps?
Yeah, I think more the latter. Obviously, we all grow up loving music. I don't think there's a single soul on the planet that doesn't like music, because it fuels everybody and every emotion. But it was something that I just, because the music's a gift, I truly believe the Lord had instilled that gift into me, and I was very blessed to find that really early on in life, and just hone in on it from day one. So yeah, it definitely was the calling upon my life. I knew for sure. I felt it very early on.
You moved around often. You've been in different bands. What'd you learn about yourself doing? As you play in different bands and groups, and did you learn stuff about yourself, and you get better and better and better?
Yeah, sure. I think every day I'm always learning something about myself, but being in bands versus being solo, you have to involve everybody, and it's a relationship. So when you're in a band or in any musical scenario, you're very much in a tight space with people and different like personalities and different wants and needs. So you do learn to not suppress yourself in a way, but you do have to learn to ride the wave of other people and other energies around. And with any relationship, you learn somebody and you learn their ways, and so as do they yours. And so there is advantages, of course, to being in bands, but there are also advantages of, I find, being a bit more solo, where you have a little more free reign to come and go. But that's like somebody who's single versus somebody who's married. There's a blessing in sometimes in both. So, but yeah, I was always learning, and you find your strengths and your weaknesses amongst others, I think, and it can bring out the best of you, but it can also bring out the worst too.
Speaking of on the go, you're on the go right now, aren't you? You're driving to a gig, aren't you?
No, so I had a studio session.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah, so it was awesome. It was completely different to anything people usually hear. So yeah, my music's going in a little bit of a different direction, this year and going forward. So yeah, lots of exciting things to happen. But yeah, just
Well,
been in studio. So
We'll backtrack a little bit. Fast forward a few years, you know, a bunch of paperwork. You packed your bags. You moved to the USA. Of all places, Nashville, Tennessee. Why Nashville? Did this kind of call to you or what?
So as somebody from Ireland, like Nashville is very appealing in general because we do have, like, I'm not a country artist, right? So I have elements of country in my vocal, abilities, but at one point I contemplated on going down the country music scene. And so growing up at home with that culture, we have our own country scene and American country artists as well. But it was an easy kind of decision for me because I felt like I was drawn to here and I'd never even visited. America is so like diverse. Like people, you know, in Europe might not think that it's so diverse, but it is. But actually, initially, I was planning on LA,
Okay.
because it's more my like vibe, as in, health wise and lifestyle wise. But I don't know. I know the South is just so open, and I don't know. I felt something here, but realistically, what I did find here was Jesus. So
Amen.
he already kind of he knew the people that I was going to be connected with, and
Yes.
so I know that's the reason, the real reason why. It was not anything to do with music, more to do with finding him and then creating the music and having the right people around me to be able to do that. So yeah, I think that was definitely more why
You
Nashville.
and you sing all over the place, but I think the most memorable one you'll probably never forget is singing at the Grand Ole Opry. How cool was that?
Oh, like a dream come true, my friend. Yeah, I will not sugarcoat the fact that that was just the highlight of my career. It'll be very hard to top something like that, you know. And even if it was something like a huge arena, there's something so pivotal and prestigious about the Grand Ole Opry that, you know, little old me growing up would have never, ever, ever have imagined it. And now that I live here and I see that that's pretty much on everybody's bucket list, I feel just it's almost like it didn't happen now. It's like it's crazy. It's something that I do not take for granted, but something I will treasure for the rest of my life. Stepping on that stage, so very, very blessed.
How nervous were you walking on stage and kind of people who've been there, the many, golly, tons and tons of musicians, been around forever. What was that like? You get chills? Are you nervous? All the above?
I kind of wasn't nervous. I was more like ready because I'll tell you why. Nerves for me are something that don't happen a massive amount only if I feel unprepared. And that song I have sung to, like, almost every day for the last like 6 years. So I wasn't concerned about the song. I was more concerned about, can I walk in this dress across the stage without falling? Because I bought the dress online and never wore it. And so it was that I was more concerned about. Plus, because they set everything up for you, and obviously the worst thing that could have happened. My power went out on the pedal that I had, and that's why I had to crouch down and put the power back in, move the pedal to where I needed it to be.
Mm-hmm.
And but in that what felt like an eternity looking back on the video wasn't, but it was definitely less than ideal. But I was like, yeah, true Clare fashion, of course. Something will go wrong. But yeah, no, I was more excited than nervous. Um, yeah, I believe I wasn't, yeah.
I've gone through and listened to some of your songs, and I love Clovers. I love the song 23, which shows about that a little bit. You get baptized in that video. I just it
Mhm,
feels
yeah.
that video. The message is so powerful. Share about Clovers a little
Oh,
bit.
Yes, I'm so glad you said that. I was just talking about it in the studio because the guys know Drac really well. So when I first moved to town, one of those Team Jesus, I call them, was Drac, Drac Gibson. He is my Papa Bear, and he's the guy who is in the video baptizing me, and he's the co-writer. So we met like pretty much very soon after I had first moved here, and the Lord had spoken to him, and he knew like I wasn't saved at the time upon meeting him, and he got to see the entire journey take place, but he was kind of already, the Lord had prophesied to him that that's what was going to happen, and it was amazing. So our relationship, musically just was beautiful. That was the first song we ever wrote.
Wow.
After I handed my life over to the Lord back in 2020, he had come up with this idea of clovers, and we were just over and back on voice note, and got together then to lay down the foundation of the song that you hear today, and it grew the way I feel like I grew spiritually as well.
That's
And
awesome. Mm.
it was just one of those magnificent moments that I had never had, because that was the very first song that I wrote after deciding to hand my life back over to my Lord and Savior. And so it has such a special place in my heart always. And then I remember being out on a run about a year later, and we were planning for the video, and I thought the Lord just put it on my heart. He was like, ask Drac to rebaptize you. And
Mm.
so when I did, Drac was like, oh my God, really? Like that's so special to me. So, oh yeah.
That's
And
awesome.
what a wonderful, yeah. And he directed the whole thing, and he's amazing. He's just like, he, he's, I feel like he's so underrated, but he's not really, not in the music world to where, anybody who knows him knows exactly what he's done and the type of artist he's in the past. And he's just one of those super trustworthy, salt of the earth type of humans, him and his whole family, actually. So, yeah, very, very special song. So I'm
And
so glad you said that.
I love when Psalm 23 comes up. You're kind of in the woods. It's dark, and the words come over the voiceover. It's Psalm 23, and just
That's him. That's Drac doing it.
that's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't it? It's when he sent that to me, I was like, "Oh, dude." Yeah, and I'm
Another.
getting rid of my tattoos in it. So I have like this makeup that, because I want to be like, pure again. And so we're
Hmm.
getting rid of all the sins and all the things. And so like part of that was, using that while he said Psalm 23 over it. So yeah, it's
That's
pretty
cool.
awesome.
Another one I
Yeah.
like is Angel the Emerald. You have two versions.
Oh,
One is very scenic. I love the scenic one, but I'm an acapella guy. I love the
Oh, I
acapella.
think
Oh,
you're talking about Aaron and McCree, probably, because I only have one version of Angel of the Emerald
okay,
Isle.
okay,
Maybe it's that one.
okay.
Yeah, because I remember when I first moved to town, um, I recorded a very, very live, one take kind of version of Aaron and McCree, but then we did a studio version. But I don't know if that's what you mean.
Yeah, you were in the studio. Yes, and your
So,
vocals
are
is
you talking about like a video or a song, like a
it was a
recorded
song.
song?
It was a song. I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
it's yeah, but
Yeah, because there's only one. There's only one
okay,
version of Angel of the Emerald Isle, so it's probably Aaron and McCree.
okay.
Maybe I don't
And
know.
then one you're on the boat
Who
in the
knows?
middle of Ireland
Well,
somewhere.
that's yeah, but that no, that is Angel of the Emerald
Okay,
Isle. But what I don't understand.
good.
Maybe did you hear a version? I Are you talking about the studio version on the album, or like were you looking on YouTube and maybe you heard me sing it live? I don't
Yes,
know.
both. Yeah, I did. I
Maybe.
found different kind of songs. I might get one, get them crisscross, but I really love those
Hey,
songs.
listen, don't you worry. I can barely keep up with myself, so anybody who can, it's amazing to me.
Right now, what does your faith mean to you? And I saw a video. You shared your faith and what you kind of the longer story and the things you challenges you faced and went through. What's that mean to you, and how do you use music and your ministry? I'll call it ministry, music, sharing Jesus, sharing
Yeah.
the gospel. What's that like mean to you?
Oh, it means everything. Because, and I'll tell you why it means everything. Because when I first came back, I couldn't even say the Lord's name. Like, I was too ashamed. I wasn't something I was very used to, and so, for me, I'm growing all the time, but I'm so on fire for him because of how he is showing up in my life and what he does for me all the time. um, that I feel like it's just my due diligence to give back. And people can minister in many ways than just a pastor on a pulpit.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what the beauty of music and the beauty of what I get to do. I get to minister all the time, as best I can. Not every song is obviously geared towards religion or spirituality, because obviously I do a lot of cultural songs too. um, but for me, it's really important that the message that people receive and get is always that of love and inspiration and just glory to my Lord, because he's given me this platform as well, and this ability to be able to do what I do. So absolutely, I think he's worthy of everything that I say and do.
That's awesome. Yes.
Yeah.
Can you share about your website and any projects you're working on that you maybe have coming out pretty soon?
I always have stuff going on. So stuff is always coming in as well. So I do my very best, obviously, to keep my website as up to date, because I'm it's me who's doing that. So as soon as something arises, I always try and do my best to get it up straight away. But it does involve a lot of work. But yeah, I think people, like, I'm very, very, very active on socials and things like that. So it is pretty easy, I think, if you're anyway technically, you know, not challenged, you'll find where I am. However, like, I always laugh because I get so many messages going, how can I buy your album? How can I buy this? How can I do this? Where is your show? Where can I get tickets? I'm like, I literally have it all, like, right there for you. Like, it's really, I think it's user friendly. So if anybody out there thinks I need to improve on that, please let me know. Because when you reply to a post where I put the link and then you're still asking how to buy it, I give up. And this happens all the time. So then I question myself. So I don't know. If anybody out there has tips and tricks for a gal, let me know.
Well, if you're ever in Washington State, so where I live, let me know. I'd love to meet you, have coffee with you, hear you sing. I wish you the best. I thank you so much for your time. I pray
Oh,
God
God,
continues. There you go.
anytime.
I
And
pray.
if you know anywhere that need, like, because I do all my own booking, so if you have a venue or there's a festival, I do reach out to people online. Sometimes I say, hey, I'm always open to suggestions and that. So yeah, let me know, and I can hopefully make it happen. For
Yes, ma'am.
sure.
I wish you nothing
Yeah.
but the best. I pray God continues to bless you and your amazing music and your career. Thank you for the time. I really appreciate it.
No, thank you, and always as always for your platform. And I've heard others on here, and it's really great. People like yourself and anybody who gives an artist a platform to speak on and to be able to connect with people is always a beautiful thing. So I appreciate you just as much. Believe me.
So thank you very much, Clare Cunningham. You be safe.
You too. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Take care.
Thank you. Bye.